Well, good morning. How's everybody doing? This mic never stays where I want it, or never feels like I want it there. So we're going to watch Star Trek The Next Generation movie, First Contact. Star Trek First Contact. But before we go too far into it, go ahead and subscribe, like, and hit the bell button. Oops, wrong button. Otherwise, a whole lot of those may come visit you just because you're bad karma. That's funny right there. Anyway, so we're going to go ahead and talk about Star Trek First Contact. Now, from the name, you'd wonder who the First Contact is. So this is Star Trek The Next Generation. So this is Picard. Now, this is the one that came out in 1996. I don't want that open. My computer's playing games with me. Anyway, I gotta clear this browser pretty soon, so everything else will work. So anyway, they got lots of people starred in this. This is a 20th century Fox, and it's a Captain Jean-Luc Picard awakens from a nightmare in which he reveals he is assumed by the simulated by the cyber Borg 6 years earlier. So yeah, this is the first contact with the Borg. That's what this is. So this is a pretty good action movie. They reveal what Wolf 359 is. They run all over the place in this movie, blowing things up, chasing down leads. It's what they call it? Is it an action movie? Oh, it should be an action movie. Science fiction action. Well, I guess you could call it a little bit of a love story. Now, is this the one where they go back in time to get the whales, or is this the one where they mess with the Borg? This is the one where they mess with the Borg. So they don't. This is not the one where they go back in time. Oh, this is the one where they travel. Oh, the Borg have used time travel to get the Enterprise. Oh, so this is the one where they go back in past to correct what the Borg is. Yeah, because they. It wasn't first contact with the Borg. This goes back to Zefram Cochrane's day, where the first flight of the warp engine, according to the series. So they go in and stop the Borg from stopping that. And my table's starting to feel weird. They stop the Borg from stopping that. Zefram Cochrane turns out to be a drunk, even though they've been talking about him throughout all the Star Treks like he's some kind of hero. And it turns out he's a drunk. So they end up helping him fix his rocket, like we use for missiles, ballistic missile rocket, and end up fixing that, getting all the things, the system working right. Then the ship gets taken over by the Borg. There's all kinds of fun stuff. It's just, this is one of those movies that you get to watch over and over again, especially if you like Star Trek, which I'm kind of partial to Star Trek, so my ratings are going to be a little off because I like it. I have a whole collection of Star Trek. I think I got the whole Next Generation and the original so far. It's like James Bond movies. You can't get them all, but you try real hard. Anyway, so they end up back in the nuclear holocaust of World War II. They do all that fun stuff. The ship called the Phoenix. Bozeman, Montana is where it flew out of. So they end up fixing it. They end up fighting the Borg. They did all kinds of fun stuff. They blew up the Borg sphere that took them there. Followed it through a time crash. They get beat up by World War II era guns on their spaceship shuttle, which is pretty good and funny. They end up meeting this guy, and they got the doctor and everybody on the planet, or on the Earth, at World War II era. Then they're doing all kinds of stuff. He's drinking. The psychologist is drinking to keep him talking and keep him there, and once the next day, once they get him sober, they're walking around telling him where his statue's going to be. He tries to get away. They catch him. Geordi doesn't have his visor anymore. It turns out to be a pretty good movie, and I like it. It's got a lot of interesting stuff. They've got the Enterprise computers that have problems because of the Borgs on board trying to take over. They take one of the civilians up onto the ship, and then they show her that convince her that she's in a ship after running from the Borg, and all that fun stuff, the drama on the ship plus the drama on the ground. And they end up fixing the ship, and then what was it? Captain Picard and Geordi and Zefram Cochrane ended up flying the ship out, getting it off the Earth and out, do a warp flight, turn around and fly back. They go out to Pluto and back. And then they land the thing, and towards the end, the Romulans show up. No, it was the Vulcans that show up. Sorry. They're hard to tell apart sometimes. But the Vulcans show up, and they talk to Zefram Cochrane, and then they end up learning how to dance and do all that fun stuff. And, it's a pretty good movie. It's really interesting how they work this stuff out, and I like these type of movies. Star Trek, I got lots of them, so we'll be hearing more about them if I haven't done them already. And, these are kind of movies that I grew up with. So the Next Generation was a little after, but, Star Trek was something that I watched all the time. Oh, I forgot to do that. Well, I'm going to have to skip what they made and release date because I already got rid of it. What was a mistake, because I thought I was trying to hurry up and get it over with for some reason, and I don't really care if I get it over with for some reason. I just kind of seem to do that once in a while. So I don't get to tell you how much it made, how much it spent, all that fun stuff this time, because, I guess I got too excited. It's Star Trek. What do you expect? Anyway, so we'll talk to you on the next one, and maybe I'll do an update video on this so I can give you all the stats on that. But we'll talk to you later, and take care. Whether it's tomorrow or the next week, you just got to come back and watch more.
Bye.